SlapTail Squad, assemble.
Man, and this is the SlapTail Squad, and I'm coming to you from a fucking super fucking loud office because my asshole fucking neighbor decided he was going to start wood chipping at fucking 6 o'clock in the afternoon. I don't know what the fuck he was doing all goddamn day, because I know for a fucking fact he doesn't work on the goddamn weekend. And the reason why he doesn't work on the weekend is because he works for the government. So he probably should shut the fuck up!
Beaveman, are you happy today? Are you happy at all?
Well, if it sounds like you've got a chipper coming through the microphone here, here's what I'm going to have to do, which is fucking frightening. With me today is my number one, The Ronz.
Hey.
And also with us is the talented Tromondae. I'm going to have to step back and... I'm going to have to let the Ronz take the lead on this, which is frightening. And
I appreciate it.
But I will be jumping in because he's going to fuck it up.
Oh, thank you for your vote of confidence.
Yeah, so here I am going into mute, and Ronz is going to take it away.
So, Tromondae,
yes.
I hear you're black. So, cool.
That is true.
That is true. So, with that said, because I know... And
oh my fucking God! 1.5 minutes in, not even less than a minute in, the Ronz fucks it up and says my goddamn name. Now I gotta go and fucking, what time is it? Holy fuck, what time is it?
You want to restart? We can restart.
No, so you did that at what? 1 minute and freaking 20 seconds. Now I gotta, oh my God. Oh my fucking word. Seriously? So then I take out my little notepad, because I have one that I keep right here, because the Ronz fucks it up every goddamn fucking podcast.
You know, dude.
About 1 minute 20.
I've got my notes up, right? It said do not call whatever, right? And you totally threw me. You weren't happy. You weren't the Beaveman. You were this pissed off, grumpy old guy sitting in a basement somewhere yelling at the world, right? And I can't make you happy. No one can make you happy, right? All I can wish for you is the best in your life.
So you decided to make it worse.
No, I didn't.
That plan was to make it worse. You're like, I'm not going to go out of my way to make it better. I'm going to fucking make it worse. I just said I was going to hand the reins over to you, and you were going to fuck it up. And what'd you do?
You know what? Even if I could cover my
20
ass.
seconds later, you fucked it up.
And even if I could cover my ass, you did not give me a chance to cover my ass. You took it up on yourself to sell the entire world. I have fucked up instead of covering it up like a good politician does.
Now I can't even see you. You're out of the camera, so I can't even see you yelling. Oh, there you go.
Yell.
Okay, now once again, we're going to try this again. I'm going to hand the reins over to the Ronz and go.
Thank you. Thank you much. Wow. Tromondae.
Yeah.
You want to tell me how you could stay so mellow in all this damn chaos that's happening?
Hey.
Hey, whoa. That's my catchphrase, not yours. Hey, no. Just kidding. Okay, you know what? I got the link finally to work on my phone. And how did you get into the singing business? I actually saw the video, and I kept on trying to spot you somewhere in the crowd. And I don't know if you're in that, but I definitely... how did you get involved in that? That was cool.
So, that choir, I was at one of the recordings for that choir. So, I'm not a part of the choir as far as a singer. But I grew up in church like many, and I started off singing in my church choir, and then it just expanded to me being a part of different community choirs and things like that. And that specific choir is a choir I grew up singing their music at a very early age. And they're like one of the most like consistent choirs.
I would say so. I was listening to them, and I was expecting the old gospel, where, one church organ, one drum, one bass guitar, one guitar, right? Not the elaborate setup I saw. I was just blown away by it. Then, you've got the preacher, right? He's got the handkerchief in one hand, right? Who did it best? What's his name? Terry Crews. Have you ever seen Idiocracy?
I have not.
Right? He plays Mountain Dew Camacho, the president of the United States, right? And it's a good movie, but he does this preacher thing up on stage, and it kind of reminded me of the old preacher, the guy screaming into the mic, give $1 or whatever. And I thought that's exactly what I was going to see. And I was blown away by the production. Now, I'm not a big fan of gospel and them hanging on to one note, singing it for 3 minutes. I never liked that, right?
Yeah.
But the way they played and everything, I was just blown away.
Yeah, I know the Beaveman, I believe his brother is a pastor. Is that correct?
He would say yes.
Yes, that is correct. The Beaveman's brother is indeed a pastor, and his church is a Southern Baptist church.
And what is their music like there?
Okay, let me tell you what happens at that church. My brother has asked me to go several times, and I have over the years. One of the first times he had me go there, his father-in-law was the minister. And my brother was the youth pastor at the time. And the first time I went there, of course, all those people like to touch you, which is really fucking annoying. Always too fucking handsy, always trying to fucking touch you. Anyway, but they sang throughout the whole thing. And being Catholic, of course, they don't do that. They do sing, there's hymns, but they do this big thing about a homily and the preacher preaches. But all they did was fucking sing. And at the end, I'm like, hey, all you guys do is fucking sing. When are you doing your worship stuff? And my brother said, oh, no, that is the worship. So they sing a bunch of that poppy, choiry stuff. Now, before we go too far, I wanted to just say this, that I told the Ronz already that you were not in that fucking choir, Ronz. I told you he wasn't in it. I said that was the music he wanted us to listen to. Why don't you explain what we're doing? Why the fuck are you fucking it up? And now
right.
My mic is going mute again, handing the reins back over to the Ronz. Continue.
Holy shit. Someone get this kid some Xanax quickly. Holy shit. I've had a crappy week. I'm not taking it out on anybody. I'll tell you that right now. Well, first of all, thank you for the uplifting motion that you are singing, by the way, because I think singing is great regardless, right? And what happened to me this week since...
Brilliant commentary. Please continue.
Yeah, since the Beaveman's already on a one-man rampage about everything, is that we finally got our car back, right? New ignition, and somehow it wouldn't start on the first or second go sometimes. Whatever they did, they screwed it up even worse to the point now it won't start. So we had to take it back in. So, once again, it being the hottest week, you want to go out to the beach, South Haven, and touch people, maybe, right? Right, and play their hands and get blessings on them, maybe, right? Just to piss off the Beaveman, right? But anyway, no, that's not me. But it's been a crappy week, and it's, it was refreshing to know that even though you're not in that choir, and I did see some of your videos, by the way. If you Google your name, you come up in videos.
I do.
I thought that not only are you a talented karaoke car singer, awesome, you are a great dancer. Where did you learn how to dance?
I forgot those videos were up.
Let's hope they don't go anywhere towards the other side of the dark web.
Right. If you Google Tromondae Mendel, everything you're going to find is going to be PG. Nothing's going to be X-rated. So we're good.
Oh, I see. It's okay if you say your last name, but not for me. I see how that goes. Anyway.
Well, I said that wasn't my last name. That was my...
Don't go there. The Beaveman just finally calmed down where he's smiling. Don't piss him off anymore. Yeah, this is going to be one.
And way to continue to not address what we were talking about. So, what is it that we are talking about? It's not about your fucking car. What are we talking about?
It's
Ronz.
whatever I fucking think I want to talk about. I'm taking the reins. You sit back in the back and you just listen.
Here's what I want to
when
know.
needed.
No, I want to know this. This is what I want to know.
Okay.
What the plan was, because we have such a diversity. And my fucking neighbor with his goddamn chipper, because the SlapTail Squad has a bunch of different members.
We do.
We do. And because I sadly was raised primarily white, I have a various type of music that I enjoy and that I like. And the plan was we asked Tromondae to be the first one to share with us some of his music that he likes, and then we could talk about it and relate it in some way. And now I assumed that the Tromondae was going to give us some sort of hip-hop music.
Well, let's give him a chance.
That could be racially biased on my part, but I do know him, and I know he likes hip-hop. So I assumed that he would give us hip-hop. But instead, please tell us, Tromondae, what you gave us.
So what I chose to give was gospel music, and the choir specifically is called Rickadiller and New Generation. And the reason why I chose to do this as opposed to hip hop, and I think it could just have a lot to do with where I'm at right now in my phase of life. And this choir specifically, there have been like songs over like the past years that have helped me through some very traumatic experiences, if you will. One of the songs being this song called I Survived It. And what I like about that specific song is, unlike other gospel music where you get like very vague lyrics, this one specifically speaks to like very specific things, like statistics and being ill and being cast out. And so there are some parts of that song that really register with me, that helped me get through some things. And again, it just focuses on I survived it. And so I think about what is happening right now with the world, and I don't necessarily like try to steer away from hip hop or other genres of music. Like hip hop specifically, some aspects tend to have like a little bit more of a negative undertone, if you will, and it's already like enough rage and hate going on, and I don't want to necessarily like use that to fuel me. So I just like relate to gospel music. But as the Beaveman said, I do enjoy hip hop and I enjoy some country music.
I've never known that the way you dance to Cat and I Joe.
See? So yeah.
So what got you interested
the gospel portion of it. Here's what I found interesting. Do you like not jazz, but maybe blues type music? You know how they have that? There's always we make fun and we do that riff. Da-na-na-na-na, da-na-na-na. Yeah, woke up this morning. Da-na-na-na.
Oh, the blues
rolled out
riff.
of bed. Da-na-na-na. That sort of thing. This is what I felt like you, and this is how I feel about most gospel music. If you look at, I was listening to it. If you look at a lot of the titles of these songs, right? Mm-hmm. What was the one that I was listening to that I was like, I'm gonna use this one. One More Chance. That's one of the songs. Okay, One More Chance. So you could literally say, I got up this morning. One more chance. I brushed my teeth. One more chance. And then I took a dump. One more chance. One more chance. I wiped my ass. One more chance. One more chance. I shook it twice. One more chance. One more chance. Basically, what I'm saying is this.
Yeah, that was good.
A lot of the songs, all they did was say that same thing over and over and over again. I'm like, can I get some other lyrics in there?
You also need a tambourine, too. You got that one guy always shaking the tambourine as loud as he can.
Right. But, and then you would have the guy who was like singing the lead or the woman singing the lead, and she's like, I said one more chance. And they're like, one more. Wait, I said one more chance. One more. No, I said one more chance. One more chance. Took a shower. One more chance. Oh, and that one was really good because like I was smoking crack, but I got one more chance. I was doing meth, but they gave me one more chance. I was pimping myself out, and I got one more chance to come back to the Lord. One more chance. Had to get a shot at the clinic. One more chance. That was my impression.
Such a diverse life.
That was my impression of that song. Did you listen to the songs, Ron? Did you not notice that they said the same thing in each song? Basically, they would say there should have been no confusion about the titles of the songs because they said the title of the song throughout the entire song. They might have said it quickly. They might have said it slowly. They might have done it both. They might have done it different intonation. But the title of the song was definitely known throughout the entire song.
That is very true. Gospel music, especially with choirs, it can be very redundant. Very redundant. I cannot tell you how many times they probably say one more chance on that specific song. And anywhere that they sing that song, they say one more chance that many times every single time. It's and for some people, it's like, kind of like you said, Beaveman, it's like, all right, like, when are we going to get to the next thing? And so that can be something that, like, turn people off from, like, gospel music just because it, as I say, it becomes redundant and you don't know where it's going to go next. And then most times, that's where it ends. It ends saying one more chance. And you're like, yo, that's it? That's all I get? You know?
Now, do they do that just to get more people involved into the song? Because I've noticed that when I was watching the video, right, and I got to agree with Beaveman, it's at one point it becomes super redundant, right, along with you, and you're like, then they pan out to the audience and like you get that one person going, yeah, going crazy, and I'm like, okay, we'll continue the song. I'm like, and then they pan out to another person doing the same thing, and I'm like, is that how they?
I think that's Eddie the Crackhead. He's like, I get one more chance too.
So is that how they just keep going? And they look at the audience and they're like, okay, we're not going to kill it right here. We're going to give it one more chance.
And I think that when you are recording like they recorded, where it was a live recording, so what you saw that night live, that is what ended up on the CD. And so I think in those things, and specifically with choir music, they like to get things that are going to be easy for people to catch on to, because it's the easier to catch on to, the more people will sing your music and the more money you make. So there's a business side of it, you know, as well. And I can't remember who said it earlier, but it's a production, if you will, which is not what you think about when you think about God.
Oh, no. I noticed that when I was watching the video, the production was through the roof.
Yeah, you know, as far as like uniforms, what church or venue you choose to host it at, you know, you have 6 or 10 cameras shooting and recording the whole thing. If something is not right, you go back and you do retakes, you know, and which is not something that you typically think about when you think about gospel music being a production or like the recording process of it. So
I was just amazed at everything. I really was. I saw the uniformity. And that's the other thing that got me is like, you know, if this is going to be a gospel thing, why didn't everybody just wear like, you know, their own thing, right? I would have loved to have seen that. But, you know, it was all about conformity too, because either you believe or you don't, right? Because no one's going there to go to the concert and light a lighter going, okay, one more chance.
Right.
By the way, I also want to comment real quick. I thought that was a real background Tromondae until you moved, and then I realized that's so fake. I'm like, what penthouse is he in?
No.
Oh, yeah. I thought that at first, too, because he's moved recently. I'm like, damn, where'd you move? Then I'm like, looking at the backtrack, I'm like, that is not Battle Creek.
No, not at all.
That is not Battle Creek. But wishful thinking. That was pretty good. No, so that might be one of my... I have some problems with... Even though we're talking about music, I have some issues with religion. This is one of the things that I brought up with my mother, because this is why I have issues.
You having issues? No.
Large productions like this cost lots of money. And a lot of people obviously donate a lot of money to the church. And so a lot of people who are supposed to be living this humble life really don't live a humble life. For example, there's a very large church on on I-94, and that you can you drive by it as you're kind of heading out, as you're heading west.
I know the one you speak of.
And that particular church has multiple bands. Like, they don't just have one band, they have multiple. And they put a lot of time and effort into their music program. And the guy that I took guitar lessons from, he's in one of those bands. And it's a major production. And they actually have major sound system. They have nice sound system. They got video equipment, all this stuff. And so for me, this is why I have a problem with religion, is the amount of money that's spent on religion. Because I don't know about you, but if you truly believe that Jesus existed, which I do, Jesus didn't have a church. And that's one of those things I always argue with my mom about. I'm like, Jesus didn't have a church, Mom. If you're so big into Jesus, I'm like, you're not really following Jesus' teachings, because Jesus said, I don't need a fucking church. And he did, attempt, he threw a fit in the temple because people set up a market in the temple, if you believe that story, to once again say, hey, why are you using places of worship to make money? Mm-hmm. So that's my rant about religion.
Oh, no, continue. I'm listening this time. That's it? No more? Okay.
Go ahead. Let's hear you say something profound.
No, I think that when I'm listening to music, I mean, if it moves you, it moves you. I listen to all types of genre of music. I really do. But, this is more about Tromondae and what he listens to. And I'm glad that you found something that you can connect with. I really am. Because, I mean, no one likes a mean, angry person. Do we, Beaveman? No one. So anyway, I mean, what drew you to this Ricky Dillard anyway? What drew you to that?
So, as I said, growing up, I sang a lot of his music before I even knew who he was. And in about 2004, 2005, two of my aunts auditioned for the choir, and they got in to the choir. And
wow.
Yes. And so they've been singing with him for about 15 years now.
I feel like I could get in.
You
because
could.
I can say the same 4 words over and over again also. If you've only got to say like 5-6 words per song, you can nail that shit. That's all I'm saying.
You could.
You could.
I mean, if I only had to play the same riff on my guitar, just like one riff per song, I would also be awesome.
What riff would you play?
That's irrelevant. I'm just saying that if I only had to play one riff per song without having to do anything else, I would be awesome.
But if you're going to be in the band, why not make it also about yourself? I mean, come on.
You see, if the audience could see this hand going over my head, that means that it went over the Ronz's head, and he doesn't understand what I'm saying.
I do. No, that's good. Tromondae's just loving this.
What I also find like interesting with, at least with gospel music, I believe that it's different in like secular music and things like that, is that like choirs, the choir itself, the choir members, the people who are the voices, they don't receive any type of pay financially for what it is that they do.
Wow.
Okay, so cynical me is thinking, how appropriate is that? It's kind of like, did you watch Ronz? Did you watch The Tiger King? Did you watch that?
I have not seen one episode of that.
Oh, yeah, well, okay. Well, this show, The Tiger King, is on Netflix. Let me just run it down for you. This lady has this multi-million-dollar enterprise. She has people working her big cat ranch or whatever, but none of them get paid. But she's making lots of money. They get steps in order to work with different cats. But she's making lots of money, and she's getting basically slave labor. And they all kind of do that a little bit. Who's getting all the money from these large productions if the people who are singing in the choirs and everything aren't getting paid?
So the choir director, which would be Ricky Dillard, is usually like the one who is paid. Musicians are typically paid. And of course you pay like your production team, whoever it is that you are using to record, and videographers and things of that nature, which I find very interesting because even in churches, musicians typically get paid as if, that's their job. And for some, that is their work. But with the choir, if you have no voices there, you have nothing but a band.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so I look at it, and I get that it's ministry, but shouldn't it be ministry as well for the musicians? You know, as a singer, I have to practice just as much as they do. You know, sounds just don't come
Right.
out. You just don't learn the 4 words you have to sing over and over.
Right.
You know,
Well, all you got to do is go to one rehearsal and then you're set. I mean, according to the Beaveman, that's it. Learn those
No,
4
that's not
words,
what I
you're
said.
set.
When did that ever come out of my mouth? When did I say you only had to go to one rehearsal?
No, I'm saying that. If
But
that's
you
all
said
gotta
according to the Beaveman. You said that. You made that statement, and you said according to the Beaveman. I didn't say that. That's not what I said.
I'm implying.
You're implying that that's what I said, but I didn't say that.
I'm implying. Jeez.
No, the point is, my point is this, and this is the problem I always have with it. I'm like, why? It's the same as studio musicians. Like, you don't have to have a band to create music. You could be just a singer. A lot of them have studio musicians. They go in and they have people that they play their music for them. Studio musicians make money. They get paid for that. They don't do it for free. And you could have studio musicians that are on lots of different albums. So why doesn't the choir get paid?
Good question.
He's hoping you can answer that, by the way.
That was rhetorical, Ronz, actually.
Oh. Sorry.
I know that Tromondae doesn't know the answer to that question. I know the answer to that question.
I know. So cool.
You don't know the
I
answer to
don't
that
get-
question?
No, I don't.
Really?
But-
You don't
no,
know the answer to that
seriously.
question? I'll answer it.
All
for
I
you.
can think of is if there is no answer, Beaveman, it's because of the recognition that follows that. Basically, you're riding on someone's coattails to get bigger.
No, it's a perception that he's doing you a favor by letting you be in the choir, which will therefore make you closer to God also. It's a mind fuck.
Oh, I didn't know that. I had no idea. Seriously.
I will say this though, some of the music, I did start, because I listened to it in the car. I've got a long commute, so I was listening to it in the car, and when it wasn't super repetitive, I did tap on my, I did almost clap a few times, that sort of thing.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to road rage again when you got gospel going. Really.
I don't know. I don't road rage, so.
It's because you had the gospel going.
No,
Yeah,
I
the
don't
word
road
in
rage.
ya.
I don't road rage anyway. So what else you got there? What was your opinions other than saying it was good, Ronz? Did it bring you back to your days as a Southern Baptist?
No, I am not a Southern Baptist. I am none of the above. I do like, however, a good sermon, just for the simple reason I like to see how these guys keep people enthralled. I mean, I grew up in a Catholic church, and one thing that always bored the hell out of me was it's an aerobic workout. If you've never gone to a Catholic service, it's up, down. Have you?
I've been to a Catholic wedding.
Okay. Fair enough. It's just as long sometimes. Where you're kneeling, you're standing up, kneeling, standing up, right? And then you go up, whatever. But the one thing, they don't bring anything to light. There's no interaction as far as if you go to a gospel place or a Baptist place. Well, I think Pentecostal, right? There's little to no interaction in a Catholic church, which is, really why I think the church is dying, because I think, like if you could get gospel or a heavy metal black band there,
So hold on a second. you think the Catholic Church is dying?
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
I do. Yeah.
And what are you basing that on? It is the largest religion in the world.
Yeah, probably by
Latin
your
Americans, there are more Latin American Catholics, there are more Latin nation Catholics than the whole world combined. So why do you think that religion is dying?
Just because have you been to a Catholic service lately?
So you think that a
You
representative,
didn't answer my question.
representation,
You did not answer my question.
you think a representation
See?
of
Once again,
the local
like a
area
good
is an
politician going
indicator?
around the
is an
question,
indicator?
not willing to answer the damn question. He's going
No.
around the question.
But you didn't answer my question either. You're a computer guy. Google how much you think the Catholic Church is dying. It may be dying. It may be
asked me for
dying
an
in the
opinion.
United States. It may
All
be
right.
dying in the United States, but Latin nations, that's the number one religion.
That's Latin
The
nations.
majority. You're right. Latin nations, not states. Nations. The largest collection of practitioners of Catholicism are in all the Latin nations. So if it dies in the United States, your perception that it's dying is not accurate. That's like thinking the United States is the center of the universe.
Whatever you say. However, I've been to, and it was an opinionated thing, I have been to a Catholic service, and when I was a kid, it was jam-packed, right? It's like any other church, unless you keep up with the time, the music, the people, it dies. You look at some of the music that was up in the South, right? Gospel, how it started, right? It was dying until someone put a little, rhythm and blues to it. And then it jumped back up. You look at some of the old, fire and brimstone speeches. That was great. Then someone said, let's add a bass line to that. Let's get a production value to it. And it started to pick up. It was keeping up with the times. And when a church
It's important to note. It's important to note that your history timeline is conjecture on your part.
Isn't everything conjecture?
Yes, but I mean, there's no proof to anything that you just said.
Oh, there's.
Let me remind
proof.
the audience.
There's definitely proof.
Wait a minute. So you feel like that prior to the addition of a bass line, the church was dying. That's what you just said. You're like, there's your historical.
Oh my Lord! You work for CNN?
As a scholar of religion, the Ronz is. Yeah, but if you present something like fact, that's why I'm just saying. That's why I'm saying. Just remember, this is all conjecture on the Ronz part.
Okay.
Nothing we say is accurate. It's an idiot podcast. I have to throw that in when Ron starts going off. I'm like, just remember, nothing that he's saying is fact. This is actually his
not
opinion.
all the time. Not everything is fact, but then again, I do have some couple of facts here and there.
So, but you're saying that. But as I'm saying, you're like, just remember that before a bass line was added.
I wasn't saying that, but I was saying that's how they kept up with the times.
It was all over.
Oh my Lord!
All over.
It's how you kept up with the times. Literally, that's how you kept up with the times.
Yes.
Unfortunately, if you go to a Catholic service, and I've been to one as recently as a couple months ago.
Why? Why did you go there? What did you do that for?
I did it for personal reasons.
Yeah. You want to spout off your religious historical facts, but you can't tell us why you went to the church. You said it was personal reasons.
Yeah.
Isn't that why anybody goes to church? Isn't that why everybody goes to church? Personal reasons. Right, Tromondae, why do you go to church? Personal reasons? Is it personal reasons?
Personal reasons.
No, it's also one of the places I can go see my mother where she can't yell at me.
You said it was Catholic church.
Yeah.
She can pinch you. That's common. That's a common common Catholic thing to get pinched.
You were just a rotten child in church, weren't you?
Pinched or have your ear twisted or say stuff under your breath.
Laugh with Bibles.
Yeah.
Wow, you guys were really bad kids in church.
Church for me growing up, we're very strict. Certain times you can walk, certain times you can talk, and if you broke those rules, you had some mother of the church coming after you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay. It was a little different, I guess, for me, but okay. I didn't ever have that.
You're a saint, Ronz. That's why.
Oh no, I'm not a saint. Don't get me wrong. Right.
Now, okay, so in your opinion, Ronz, as a master of reviving religion, I think that it's important for the listening audience to know how they can bring back their own particular dying religion. As a scholar of religious history, how should the Jewish faith should they move into Jewish hip hop reign or something like that? Is that what they should do to get things really rolling?
Shit, that reminds me. Who is the Jewish rap artist who wouldn't perform. I think he wouldn't perform. Let me look it up. But he wouldn't perform with a woman, and he wouldn't perform on a certain day.
I thought you were just saying who's the Jewish rap artist. Like, there's only one.
Who's that?
Who's that Jewish rap artist? Who is that? Who's that white rap artist?
Let's see.
Yeah, I don't know. And why is that? So how are you going to bring back the Jewish religion? How are you going to bring it back strong to keep with the times so they can recruit some more members?
Well, it's just like you just said.
Should they bling out the yarmulke?
Hey, I wore a yarmulke. I really did. Right?
Now, why would you wear a yarmulke?
Because my dad wanted to be a rabbi.
But you're not Jewish. So why would you wear a yarmulke?
Because my dad
So you wanted to dress the part. Like, if we dress the part.
Yeah. I woke up one day and went, oy vey, it's hot. Right? And I got such a good deal on the yarmulke. Let me tell you, it was a waste not to wear it. Jesus.
Oh, and then you're going to take, well, that's a total Jewish thing, to take my Lord's name in vain. That's really nice. That's great.
Why is it just your Lord? Why can't it be everybody's
Because
Lord?
you just said that you're pretending to be Jewish.
I wasn't pretending to be Jewish.
So you were Jewish for a short. So for how many weeks were you Jewish then?
I want to say in the second grade, almost a full year, if not before then, maybe 2 years.
So while your dad wanted to be a rabbi, you were Jewish without any type of conversion. You were just Jewish.
Yeah, I guess.
Or that you were Catholic.
I don't know. I really don't. Now, Tromondae, you're giving this look, and I want to explain something. If you listen to one of the earlier podcasts that we did about my family, it's confusing. And if you listen to that, then it makes sense, right?
I'm trying to understand it, and I'm just like, what has happened?
So,
wait.
Yeah, we're leaving stuff out.
If your mom was your mom Roman Catholic?
As far as I know, yes.
Okay. Were you baptized?
Yes.
Okay, well then you were Roman Catholic. And until the Pope tells you otherwise, you're Roman Catholic, at least from that standpoint. Now, there are other steps that you have to take. You got to do the First Communion, got to do your confirmation, but basically, the reason I stopped after the First Communion, I didn't get confirmed. My older brother did. Now, technically, he is a Baptist minister, but whether he likes it or not, until the Pope says you're not Catholic anymore, he's Catholic.
That's because one man tells you what you can be. I don't subscribe to that, nor should anybody else.
Just telling you that's how it works.
That's how it works for you. You believe that shit?
That's how it works for me. That's a Catholic mindset. I didn't say that's how it works for me. I'm just saying, as a for instance. So if you decided for like 10 days or 2 years or a year you were going to be Jewish, in the eyes of the Pope, you were not Jewish.
I don't care what the Pope thinks at this point.
Ooh, that went out all over the whole world there, to where we have listeners in Mexico, we have listeners in Ireland, big Catholic country, Ireland, Scotland.
I thought Ireland was mainly Protestant.
Ronz thinks that's dude. What was the war about?
Potatoes and whiskey, I think.
So lost. This is why I say once again, it's a neat podcast. So just so you know, even though I'm not a practicing Catholic, and nor do I consider myself a Catholic, the Pope hasn't released me, but I'm still not going to say anything negative.
How are you bound to the Pope?
The Pope is the head of the Catholic Church.
I don't get that. I know but you don't have to be bound.
What don't you get?
That you don't have to be a slave to the Pope. That's exactly what you're saying. I am bound to the Pope. I am bound to the Catholic religion by the Pope.
The Pope? I said that I am Catholic until others told otherwise.
What's that, Tromondae?
I believe what he's saying is that he just has the if I can say, the label attached to him doesn't necessarily mean that he is practicing anything that they are asking of him. So then therefore
Preach it, my brother. Preach it.
He doesn't feel that he's not tied to them, because he don't do what they say. He just knows that he has a label attached to him, and because it does not control or determine what it is that he does, it doesn't matter if it's removed or not. The Beaveman still does what the Beaveman wants to do, you know, and if he chooses to get the title removed or label removed, he will. But again, it doesn't determine any aspect of his life. Am I right, Beaveman?
Right, exactly. What I'm saying is, in the grand scheme of being Catholic, whether you're Catholic or not, once you're Catholic, unless you're told otherwise, or you totally divorce yourself from the church, you're considered Catholic.
So how
My
does
mother
one
will tell
divorce
you
himself
that
from
my
the?
mother will tell you that I'm Catholic. My father will tell you that I'm Catholic because I was baptized Catholic. They're Catholic. It's not like other religions are like that. Like my dad was, I think he was Methodist. He converted. He went through all the classes and became Catholic. It's not like there's some Methodist Pope figure that said, "Hey, you can't. You're always Methodist." It's not how that works. It's a long, well-established religion that is steeped in tradition and darkness and voodoo and magical thinking and all kinds of other craziness. And at least they believe in the devil, which is kind of cool. That's kind of metal. And they believe in exorcisms, which is also cool, which is one of the reasons why I still like the Catholic Church for some reason. But still, I don't go to church.
So, B-Man, do you keep the label, if you will, for your parents' sake, or it just doesn't really matter to you whether you have it or not?
No, it doesn't matter to me or not. The only thing that matters to me, and that's why I don't go to church, is because I don't believe particularly in the establishment of church. If you believe in the teachings of Jesus didn't. That's why I have these. Whenever my wife, if anybody gets high and mighty, like my mom gets high and mighty on the church, I always say, I'm like, Jesus didn't have a church. Why do we need a church? It's one of those things. Like take my grandma for example. My grandma died at a very young age, early 60s. She did not go to church. Did not go to church at all. And of course, my mother took issue with the fact that my grandmother didn't go to church, and my father kind of did a little bit also. But my grandmother, who was, I'll say this because it's true, as a fat kid, my grandmother, I talked to Ronz about my grandma before, how awesome she is. She was my best friend. My grandmother prayed every night before she went to bed. She didn't go to church, didn't like church, didn't want to go to church, but she was very close to God, and she prayed every night. And she didn't feel like she needed to go to church, and I totally agree with her thinking. I'm like, I don't think you need to go either. Worship is worship, which is the same, goes back to what my brother said. If they're not preaching during their mass or whatever they call it, but they're singing, that's their form of worship. As my older brother said, worship is worship. That's how we're doing it. That's how we're praising God. It's just different from what you're used to because you go to a Catholic church where they say the same shit over and over again every time you go, and the only difference is the homily based on what time of year it is. I guess the kind of nice thing about being Catholic is you always know what they're going to preach because the year is already planned out. The only difference is what spin the priest wants to put on it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
That is very true. And growing up in Baptist churches, I saw the same thing as far as sermons and things like that. Like you knew exactly, almost can say verbatim, what certain sermons were going to be. So I find that interesting that you experience the same thing in another religion.
Cool. But if you want to bring people back into a set mind,
you got to have a cool baseline.
You do, but you have to keep up with the time.
In.
If you look at some of the way the Catholic Church, and I do believe other churches are losing parishioners here and there, it's like, how do you bring more people in? You keep up with the times, you keep up with the music, you keep up with the social, the context of what's going on. Failure to do that, you're going to die. You're going to, there are going to be a few lifers out there that hang on for dear life, but once they're gone, what do you have left? Right?
I believe my point was, though, to think that the Catholic religion is dying. It's been going for 2,000 years, bro. It's not dying. It's the longest, modern religion there is. I mean, there is no there is not a religion that has lasted longer than the Catholic Church so far.
No, there have been a few.
Like
Right? I want to say Muslims.
Muslims? You think that there's a greater population of Muslims than Catholics?
I would think so in their country.
in the country of Muslim?
Yeah, I would say Middle
I
Eastern.
believe it. You know, I'm going to say this right now. In the country of Muslim.
The country of Muslim.
On the border of the country of Muslim people. You got over here, you got giants. Over here, you got midgets. And here, right smack dab in the middle of it, bordered by the Tigris and Euphrates rivers, you got the country of Muslim. And those folks have got more Muslims in the country of Muslim than they got Catholics.
In the country.
Is that what you're saying? In the country.
Okay, so there is one religion older than Catholicism. It's called Hinduism. And it's the oldest, without a doubt, the oldest religion in existence.
But
No but about it. It's the oldest one in there.
Are there more Hindus than Catholics? And I can
Well-
already tell you the answer to that question is no. Because there are far more religions in India than any other country. So therefore, the country that might have the most Hindus does not have anywhere near the amount of Catholics in the world.
Then there was the Zoroastrianism. Probably said that wrong. That's one of the oldest religions. And then after that, there is Judaism, which is not confused with Catholicism. Then there's Jainism, Confucianism, Buddhism, Taoism, Shintoism. So yeah, wait.
We're talking about length of religious time plus the amount of followers in the world. Who's got the most?
Oh, well, if you're going to put it like that, then.
What is the most successful religion to date?
The Beaveman.
Well, that would be
Okay.
nice. So, I would prefer to be a ruler and not a religion.
At some point, you
Too many
are going to be.
restraints that you would have to be a religious figure. I feel like there's too many nice things that you would have to do. There's too much of a high standard you would have to set for yourself. I would prefer to be a leader of a great army like Alexander and be ruler of the country as well. Several nations would be great.
So,
Yeah. So,
Islam is the biggest religion with 1.9 billion. That's billion with a B. Hinduism, 1.2
So
billion.
Islam is the religion of the country of Muslim?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just making sure.
However, and if you're
Here's
going
a
to
trick
lump everything in together, Christianity then is 2.3 billion. And then you're going to get your offshoots of that.
So at least we're still talking about the most successful, I guess, religion. If you want to
Yeah.
lump it together, would still be Christianity.
Yeah, I guess so in that sense. However, if you fail to keep up with the times
Without
Like I said.
without adding a cool baseline. to
without
your-
adding a cool baseline, right?
Exactly.
Well, it's like anything out there. What's the latest social trend out there that's going to keep people going right before it dies out? The religion has to keep reinventing itself in order to stay with the modern times.
mhm.
It really does. Once again, going back to you look at Baptists, right? And the fire
Which was dying out until they added the baseline.
until they added the baseline and
This is
Tromondae.
what we were told. I've heard from a reputable source
Yeah. And then you got
the
Tromondae's
Baptist
vocal
religion
cords.
that the
Tromondae
Baptist
added his-
religion was dying out until the
Until-
addition
Tromondae added his
How about
rich vocal lines and
awesome
a bass line.
baseline. That's
Right.
right.
It's funny that the Ronz say that.
Oh, well, thank you. I thought it was funny too.
Well, not funny as in haha, but
Yeah,
Okay.
most of the shit he says is not funny like haha. It's mostly like you want to slap your head, which is why he's my perfect number one. It's not that he's funny. It's just he's not funny in, like I said, it's not a gut busting belly laughing way. It's just the ridiculousness of what he says. Never change, Ronz. That's the point.
consistent. No, but I think about Kanye West recently started this Sunday service.
Yeah, oh yeah, I remember that.
And I have some friends who were able to be a part of that choir, and he were able to like draw in an audience that the church, the building, as the Beaveman was not able to really pull in, and it gave people a different insight on God, and I feel not so much religion, because he wasn't practicing anything under any specific religion, and I thought that it was very profound. I mean, some of the songs that they were singing were the same songs that most churches sing, or Baptist churches and they would sing in church, but yet the church, the physical building, they had so much hatred or issues with what he was doing, and I'm like, is he not doing the same thing you're trying to do? Are we upset by the fact that Kanye West, someone who we see out as the church will put him as worldly and this and the other, because he's doing what we're trying to do here, where we're trying to like shun him, and it's
well,
that,
or I think more to the sake, because I remember something about that, but were his intentions the same as the church, or was he just trying to bring attention to himself?
I believe.
Go ahead, B-Man.
I believe that doesn't matter, because the end result is the same. Whether his intentions were altruistic or not, he brought interest back into the church. So therefore, if the congregation was using their head and looking at the big picture, they shouldn't get angry because he achieved something they couldn't do.
Right.
It's irrelevant even if he was fake about it and didn't give two shits. If he brought renewed interest into the church and brought in a new set of congregation or new people that want to be there and actually worship, it doesn't really matter. Does that mean he's going to hell? Maybe. Who gives a shit? The point is, this is a renewed interest in a place of worship, which is what they want in the first place. Like you said, if they don't change something, religions die out. A good way to, good way to make a religion die out is just to ignore it, and it will go away.
Yeah, I've stated that before. Yeah,
it's true.
That was well said, B-Man.
But it's also like when we talk about the Catholic Church, right? One of the biggest issues with the Catholic Church, in my opinion, other than the fact that, let's not, other than the touchy of the inappropriateness that they keep covering up.
That's in any church.
Well,
that's in any church. It's
far worse than that. No, I'm not talking about friendly touching Ronz. I'm talking about touching of underage girls. That's
in any church. The Catholic. That's in any church that you go to, right? Any religion.
Let me just say that the Ronz makes that statement on his own, saying that every church and any church has touching of little boys in it. I did not say that. I
didn't say that. Every church has got its black, dark past like that.
Why can't it be a white past? Why can't it be a brown? Why can't it be a mocha past? Why do you have to associate everything that is bad with blackness?
Why, Ron?
Yeah. Can you answer that question?
Oh, way to go, Tromondae. Way to go. Jump on that wagon.
So white that you are basically pink. Please explain to us, Ron, why you associate everything negative with blackness.
I don't, but if you're going to go
Ron,
with
what's your favorite color?
A black.
White? What was it?
Black.
White?
Cobalt blue, actually.
Cobalt blue.
Cobalt blue.
Can't just be blue. It's cobalt blue.
Yeah, it's cobalt blue.
Can't just take a spectrum blue color.
I just did. I took a spectrum color.
So originally you said black. So you lied.
I like black too.
You lied to the squad to try to make yourself look good. Tromondae, keep it in mind that you can say whatever you like. What is your favorite color?
Purple.
Okay, there you go. Purple, great color.
It's a great color too.
It is a great color. Royal purple.
No, you said purple, not royal purple. There's a difference in color there.
The color of no, it's not a difference in color. It is associated with royalty. Purple is associated with royalty.
You didn't say that until now.
I didn't think I had to because I thought you were educated enough to know what I was talking about.
Oh, I see. He can make a statement that's conjecture, but
does anyone want to know what my favorite color is?
Yeah, sure. What is your favorite color?
It's black. Everybody knows that.
Not onyx?
You know what they say?
No, what do they say?
You go brown, never get let down.
And for me, it's once you go black, you never go back. So.
Okay, I never knew that.
Now, if that was, now I'm going to fuck with Tromondae because he crossed the line. So I'm going to fuck with you now. Get ready. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Why does he get a warning and I don't?
Shut the fuck up, Ronz. Shut the fuck up. If that's true.
I see, because he's black, he gets a warning, but I get the straight shot right to the heart.
Because you have
anyway, go ahead.
Of the mouth a lot. I'm just trying to help you out. I'm trying to give you the Imodium that you desperately need.
I don't need Imodium, AD.
All right. Back to what Tromondae said. If that's the case, Tromondae, what color is your significant other?
Good point. Well. Okay. So to go to that,
you're saying
the roundabout answer?
Once they get your blackness, they never go backness. Is that what you're trying to say? So for you, you're saying that the rules don't apply to you?
Yeah, they don't apply to me.
Oh, okay. All right.
I'm Tromondae Mandel.
All right. Okay. That's fine. But for the benefit of the listening audience, I don't know if you guys know this or not. Tromondae is black.
Whoa.
And
did you know on that note?
But he does not have a black significant other.
That is true.
Did you know that I also happen to have a black belt in martial arts?
Oh, it's totally the same thing. Your suffering is totally equal. The suffering that you took to become a black belt and have black associated with your title in any way completely makes you equal with those who are also black, because you have a black belt.
The Ronz, I would love for you to stand outside of any business, and as people are coming in who are black, I would love to hear you say make that comparison of your black belt to this.
I'm also black belt. You know, I'm also black in the belt area.
You know, I am the most least racist person you'll ever meet, but the way you're making it now, it sounds like I am like lower than scum.
If we were living in the time that we're living in now, that would be a great Ron stunt, which I would love to do in the future. Once all the other stuff is gone and over with, I really want to get Ronz a really nice GoPro and just have him be himself and do stuff like that. Like literally say, I'm black also. And you have him have his little black belt. I'm black too.
I would never do that.
I had to fight for this.
You don't understand my struggles. You don't know what I've been through.
You know,
yes.
Working with underprivileged people, right, and seeing all walks of life, I don't associate myself with any type of color or economic.
Oh, you're pink.
No, you know, because the minute I say I'm one versus another, that puts a distance and a wedge in between me and them. I mean, there's little to relate to at that point. So I have to remain almost translucent and try to identify them.
You are pretty much translucent.
Thank you. I have to try to identify with their struggle. More empathetic. Yes, I understand what you said. However, no, I understood. However, the way you guys are making it sound, I'm never going to identify with anything other than just being me.
And that's okay. It's not easy being green.
It isn't. So where did you meet your significant other, Tromondae?
Why does that matter?
Well, because I'm trying to shift the damn focus from me to him. That's why it matters.
Well, if you let me shift it a little bit to something a little bit lighter, if you will. Is this a Kiss poster or something you have hanging up in the back?
Oh, no, that is my wife's Kiss blanket, yeah.
Now,
she is a
go ahead
big
and ask
Kiss
the
fan.
obvious question, Ronz.
What's the obvious
ask
question?
The questions that you're dying to ask Tromondae.
Oh, okay. So go back to your question, Ross.
No, that's okay. We'll talk about Kiss.
Here's the question that immediately popped into Ron's mind when you asked that.
Speak for me.
I am going to. How do you know what Kiss is, young Tromondae? That's a white heavy metal group.
You know, I will say I honestly like if I hear some songs, I may be able to point out, but I know very little about the band. However, I do know that they deserve the respect that they have earned just because of who they were, and I believe they still have, and I believe some members of the band have died, correct?
Yeah, they have.
But I believe that they still get the same type of respect because of the band itself.
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to go out there and say this. All right.
By all means.
I don't mind Kiss. I'm not a big fan. I did go see them in concerts, but only because they were with Motley Crue, and I actually went to see Motley Crue.
I saw
And
them 3
the
times
daughter-
in concert. They were a decent band.
The daughter fell asleep during Kiss. She stayed awake for Motley Crue. She fell asleep and slept almost all the way through Kiss.
Really?
Yeah.
One band I really want to see is Body Count. So.
Thanks for throwing that out there.
No, do you know who Body Count is?
No.
Oh my God, they had one of the
Highest body counts?
No, they had a song called Cop Killer that actually made the headlines. Right? Do you know who fronts Body Count?
Jesse James Dupree.
No.
Do you know who
Ice-T.
Jesse James Dupree is?
No, I don't know who Jesse James Dupree is.
Okay, that was the first thing that came to my mind because he fronts some bands. He fronts Waylon still, I think.
Oh.
So shout out to Waylon. I know you don't listen to my podcast, motherfuckers, but you should. Because
Ron, you said they
Yeah.
had a song called Cop Killers?
Cop Killer, yeah, Body Count. You ever listen to it?
I have not.
It
I'm
made
not a fan of the title.
it made the headlines nationwide. The president, the vice president, I think Dan Quayle, if I'm correct, got on behind it. This caused a lot of shit, right? And it was just one of those things where it was just a great song, but it caused so much controversy.
Right. I mean, the same with NWA, and they came out with a song back then called "Fuck the Police," and
Yep.
they got a lot.
Mm-hmm. Oh, look at me. I'm important. Look at me. Look at me, everyone. Hey, look at me. I can't silence my shit for a podcast. Look at me. Oh, look at me. Oh, was that you, Tromondae? Oh, no, it wasn't you? Oh, let me see. Was it the Beaveman? Oh, no. See, my shit's on silent. It must have been the Ronz. Was it you, Ronz?
It
Was it you once again? Pretty much on every fucking podcast we have, that your fucking phone goes off.
Do you know why I have my phone with me?
Important. Oh, hey, raise your hand if you're a doctor. No one? No one? Oh, wait a minute. Oh, there's a hand up. Is it Tromondae's hand? No. Is it the Ronz's hand? It's got to be the Ronz's hand because he's so important and necessary and needed that he gets paged during a podcast because
Actually, I have my phone
he's a
on
surgeon.
so you can page
He's a surgeon.
me.
He's a surgeon.
I have my phone with me so you can page me because you're like, are you there? Are you on the podcast? I'm having trouble. We're troubleshooting right now.
I never have trouble. I don't have trouble. That's always on your end that you fuck it up, not mine.
Yeah.
I get contacted. I get connected, no problem.
Yeah.
Connected, no problem.
Once again, you are the perfect politician to backtrack on your own words. I love that. You are. I would vote for you. By the way, this upcoming election, I am penciling you in if I don't find a good
Don't waste your vote. Don't waste your vote.
I'm not wasting my damn vote.
Do not waste your vote by voting for the Beaveman in the upcoming presidential election. There's no way I'm going to win. I will say I could not do a worse job. I do have a pulse. I'm in good shape.
Better than some.
Yeah.
So, Tromondae, what do you recommend as far as music goes to get the people back into a dying church?
Ricky Dillard, motherfucker.
Yeah. I think that's the way to go.
Repetition. Repetition. You know why repetition is important?
Repeat that.
Exactly. Because humans are simple and regimented, whether they like to believe that they are or they are not. If you take, for example, like you said, Ronz, and let me also say this, if you think that you're going to get an aerobic workout at Catholic Church, like the Ronz said, clearly you are in shit shape. Anyway, but why does the Catholic religion stay strong, et cetera, et cetera? It's repetition and it's steeped in tradition. That's why. It's just not going to continue to attract young people if the parents are not careful with how they portray religion to them. That's why, like you said, it's not so much that particular religion is dying. I think that you're mostly basing that on what's going on in the United States. But if you take like my family in Mexico, they're all Catholic because that's how they were raised. And they make church, not in the United States, but in other countries, they make it fun and they make you want to go. And they make it all about family and friends, etc., and different things that you can do. I enjoy, if I have to go to church here in the United States, I don't have to. But on the occasions that I do go, I prefer to go to Mexican Mass because it's fun. I don't understand a fucking thing they're saying. They could be talking about me the whole time. I don't know.
What's different about it?
Yeah.
They play Mexican music. They're very lively. They're not just going through the motions, and the congregation is more involved. And everybody there seems pretty happy to be there. Have you ever seen the movie? I'm sure Ron probably has. Have you ever seen the movie Dogma?
No.
Yeah.
So, movie Dogma was who wrote that movie?
Kevin Smith.
Kevin Smith wrote that movie?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. He did, right? And so you've got Matt Damon and Ben Affleck are in that movie, and Alanis Morissette.
Mm-hmm. At the end, it's God.
So basically, there's this chick in the very beginning. She's in Catholic church, right? And she's balancing her checkbook. And everybody else in the church basically has the science down of when you kneel, when you stand, blah, 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 what time this will be over, what time hack you're at for each thing. And that's true. That's what it's like. So if it's like that, you're just in a repetitive mindset, and you're just waiting to get this over with. If you go over Catholic church, when I was in there, it was on average was about 52 minutes. If it went longer than that, I was like, what the fuck is going on? And everybody else was like that too. Even if they said they wanted to be there, if you hit like an hour and 2 minutes, people were losing their fucking minds. Mexican church, not so much like that. More fun, more bouncy, more flouncy, good Mexican music. And always the possibility that somebody might have brought food, which is always good for me. I get excited about that.
That's funny. Most Baptist churches, you're in there at least for 2 hours and 15 minutes.
I would lose my fucking mind.
Minimum.
Yeah, but do they have good food there?
They don't always serve food after church.
Dude, why would you go then?
Unless it's like a special event, but then Sunday is very common to go out and have dinner at restaurants on Sundays.
And stiff the waiters.
So we're all parents here. Are you raising your kids in the religion of your choice, or are you going to let them have their own choice?
Ooh, good controversial question there, Ronz.
Thank you.
You did something right for a fucking change. Don't let it go to your head, okay? Don't fuck it up by saying anything else. Just
No, I was going to say, look at the way Tromondae is actually thinking about this question, because it's an actual question that was actually, I had to post somebody who said, do you take your kid to church? And I said, no. Why? You're going to go to hell. I said, why would I force him to believe in something against his will? Right? Basically, this is how you indoctrinate and everything. So there we go. There's the unicorn. And I said, let me ask you this. Did your daughter have a choice to go to church, or did you make her go? And ironically, the conversation switched at that point. So are you giving your kids a chance to come to see what you see, or are you making them go?
I feel like the first time you asked the question was pretty succinct. You just expanded it, said the same fucking thing over and over again. I think you understood the question the first time, and go.
Okay.
So for me,
what was the question you were asking, Ron?
Would you let him talk? Go back to playing with your damn unicorn.
So I do take my daughter to church, and we pray every night. However, I have come to the understanding in my head, if she becomes of, or when she becomes of age, and she wants to practice or give thought to other religions, I am going to allow her the ability to do so.
You're going to allow her.
I'm sorry, look at that now. Now we see how it is. You're going to allow her.
Of course.
How
no
bold.
choice here.
How diplomatic of you.
So Ron, is this how you?
Oh, no, don't switch this on me. This is you. This is all you.
So allow wasn't the right word. I'm not.
Oh well, I mean, generally people say what they mean right away.
I'm not going to try to keep her or confine her into what I believe, because I think about college. We go and visit multiple colleges and we let them pick the best one for themselves. Same with cars. So it's like with religion, why do I get to determine that for her, and every other aspect of her life she get to determine, if you will, everything else. So if she grows up and she wants to practice another religion, she has that right to do so.
Okay, so let's ask some questions then. I want your first gut response. I don't want you to think about it. I just want you to answer the question.
Okay.
Not you, Ronz. Jesus. Fuck.
Well, then say Tromondae. I want you to answer this question.
Tromondae.
Really.
And Ron, if you can think quick enough, you will be able to ask some questions also.
Okay.
But they have to be succinct. You can't fuck it up like you normally do.
Oh, sure. Why not?
All right. Tromondae.
Yeah.
What if your daughter comes home and says that she's decided that she wants to be Wiccan?
Wiccan.
Wiccan.
Oh, Wiccan.
Yeah, Dad, I'm going to be wicked. Got a gack.
I would honestly have to educate myself on what that is and get her insight on why it is that she chose to practice that. And then I think from there, I have a better understanding of what the religion is. And I can't say how I feel about it because I'm not familiar with.
White witches.
You said what?
White witches. Not color white. White witches, basically. Pagans. He's taking a long time to answer. The gut response.
It still goes back to what I said. Like I don't think that I have the right to determine that for her.
Okay. Now, have you sought other religions? You personally? Or just thought about like infiltrating one of them just to see what it's like?
That's right. Tromondae goes undercover.
Not so much. I would say like I have visited like other churches like here in the Richland area. You don't have your Baptist churches, like I have from Flint. So I've sat under different religions, and I'm the type, because I believe in God. If I feel the presence of God there, no matter what the religion is, I can get into it. And so
what does the presence of God feel like?
Was that you were a serious?
Yeah. He told me I could ask questions, and if I could fire them off as quick as I could. So, what's the presence of God feel like?
It's like
because you're going to have to describe this to your kid.
It's like nausea and orgasm and a really good bowel movement all combined.
Interesting.
It's like that feeling you get when you get to the top of the roller coaster and then it drops out. And you get that nice feeling in your groin. That's what it's like. That's what the presence of God feels like.
So, Tromondae, if your partner wants you to convert to their religion, if they have one, are you going to convert to their religion? No, we know your mic works.
Tromondae's just shaking his head.
Yeah, he's just shaking his head.
Fuck no, I'm not gonna fuck you.
They practice something doesn't mean I have to practice it just because.
That's exactly correct. Doesn't matter how. That's exactly right. I don't care how good the pussy is.
Yeah.
I don't know why my dad converted to Catholic. I'm like, I don't care how good my mom's pussy made.
You
don't have to convert to Catholic. Being a Catholic.
I don't want
it. Okay.
You don't want the pussy? You don't want the? Is that what you're saying?
Okay, let's not go there. At least we've
already. Tromondae likes pussy, don't you, Tromondae?
You know me too well.
Exactly. Ain't nothing wrong with exactly. All right.
Yeah. This goes back to the earlier podcast where that's an awkward statement.
That's not an awkward statement.
And it didn't come from me.
Okay.
Anyway.
Next question. What are your thoughts on the pentagram? Good or bad? Tromondae. Oh,
Where are you getting these questions?
off the top of my head. This is my brain. It works really quite well. Sometimes.
I'll let the Ronz answer that one.
Okay, Ronz, you got it. Go.
I think it's a great mathematical equation statement. It really is.
As a religious symbol.
Oh, as a religious symbol, it's just a symbol. If you put stock into it, it has meaning to it. Why did he leave?
I think he was so shocked that his picture just dropped off of our screen.
No, he left.
He's still thinking. No, he's still there.
Is he?
Yeah. That's it. That's all you got, huh? That's what you want to say? Is
No, to me, it's a symbol. It's nothing more than that. If you put faith in the symbol or meaning to the symbol, then it takes on something else for you. Other than that, it's sort of like a crucifix. It's like a vampire movie. You know, there was a vampire movie where I think it was Fright Night, where Roddy McDowell.
Good movie, Fright Night.
Yeah, it was, where he takes the cross up, and I could be wrong here, that he holds it up to the vampire, and the vampire just laughs at him, and he says, that only works if you have faith in it. And then all of a sudden, he has faith in the cross, and it repels the vampire, which is along the same lines of what I'm saying. You only have, it is only a symbol if you put faith and meaning into it. Anything else than that, it's just that. It's simple. That's it. Nothing more than that.
Good point. Here's what the fucking thing just happened. Tromondae, who is completely irresponsible, despite being a well-educated young man and a father.
Of course.
His computer died, and he doesn't have the charger.
What?
And yes.
Wow.
His computer died, and he doesn't have a charger. Why?
So his laptop died. Okay.
And we were getting ready to have a really good discussion. Okay. And I'm going to ask you a different question, though, because I wanted him to get the benefit of our knowledge on that answer. So how about you, Ron? Let's say, I don't think it's going to bother you so much. It wouldn't bother me either. I think I would be okay with it. You know, the daughter has told me that she doesn't really believe in God, and I've been okay with that because I really want her to seek her own knowledge. What I don't really think would be kind of an issue is if she didn't open her mind to the possibility. You know what I mean? And I think that her mind is open to the possibility, but at this point, she just doesn't believe in it, which is kind of annoying in one respect because I'm like, well, then that should mean, let's be realistic now, that should mean that I should not have to buy her a Christmas present. Don't you think?
It's what you make of it. I mean, if you think if it's a religious thing, then
Christmas is a religious holiday.
Actually, it's a pagan holiday.
The timeline fits with a pagan holiday, yes, but Christmas is not a pagan holiday.
Watch Adam Ruins Everything.
Watch
Adam Ruins Everything, and you'll find out that it started out as a pagan holiday, and they could not compete with that, so they just systematically took it over.
Okay, what I said is exactly what I just said right now, is that it is not a pagan holiday, it is a Christian holiday.
Depending on who you ask.
The practice of it currently is as a Christian holiday. That's why it is called... No, that doesn't. It has nothing to do with depending on who you ask. It is called Christmas. Therefore, it is a Christian holiday.
I recognize it because out of respect for you, I will call it Christmas. And that's what it is for you.
But that was a specific question I asked you. I said Christmas. Okay. I didn't say the winter solstice, Roz. I said Christmas. And my question was, why should I have to get her a Christmas present if she does not believe in God?
Because of, well, once again, it goes back to what you believe in, not what she believes in. If you believe in Christianity, right, and the concept of Christmas, right, then it's good peace towards everybody, right, goodwill towards everybody. Here, I'm going to give you something from my heart for you. That's it. Nothing more than that. No matter what you believe in, here's something from me to you because my God, my religion says, I should honor you, at least as a human being, not because of what you believe in, but what you are to me and to what my God tells me you are to me.
Tromondae, are you back?
Is he back?
Are you back?
I'm back.
Okay, we just don't have your picture. That's fine. Ron is doing the double talk thing and didn't answer my question.
I did answer your question.
Oh, you're being a fucktard.
I did
And that
not.
was
No,
not
I'm
what I
not.
asked.
I answered your damn question.
Instead of answering the question, you want to go around the question.
I did not go around the question.
All right. I'm going to answer my own question about the pentagram, Tromondae. Did you know what a pentagram is?
No.
You don't know what a pentagram is?
No.
So the 5-pointed star that is associated with the beast, if it's upside down.
I don't know.
If it's right side up, it's actually a symbol of peace, and it's been around for a very long time. Back to the whole pagan religion type thing. It's the upside down one that is quote unquote associated with the beast.
Gotcha. I remember seeing some kids who were like gothic wearing that symbol in high school.
And which band is that that uses that, Ronz?
Oh, geez, a lot of bands use that pentagram thing.
Yeah, but who's the main one that always had it? It was like their major T-shirt was always had that.
Well,
Megadeth?
you've got Rush who did the pentagram cover, right? On one of their album covers.
I feel it was like Megadeth or something like that. I don't know.
I could find out.
You're a metal person.
Yeah, I am, but you're asking a guy who listens to metal, and you're like, which band uses the pentagram? It's like
there is one band that is known for that symbol on all their shit that everybody knows them by. I'm just trying to think of which one that is.
Okay.
Talking pop culture, heavy metal pop culture, basically.
Okay, so let's see.
Anyway. All right, so now we got Tromondae back. Let's see. I was going to go with one more question. Shock value for the Tromondae. How about if your daughter comes home and says that she's decided that she's going to be a member of the Mormon religion?
Only thing I feel that I can do is inquire more about why it is that she chose that and be of support. How? That is the part for me to figure out.
Are you eating potato chips?
Yeah, that's what it sounds like.
You don't know they're eating potato chips?
No, I'm just standing here.
Oh, okay.
Pentagram is the biggest heavy metal band in Turkey, by the way. There is a band called Pentagram.
That's not what I asked.
I know, but it's the closest thing you're going to get.
Oh, once again, my research guy, he's on it really quick. He's on it fast. Okay, well,
Beaveman,
yes.
I'm interested in hearing how would you respond if either of your children came and said that they wanted to practice any of these religions?
Like one, give me a specific one. Shoot, give it to me.
Let's say Mormon.
Mormon? I'd laugh.
I would laugh too. I know your kids.
Okay, if one of my kids said, "Hey, Dad, I want to be Mormon," I would say, "Okay, cool. I also like make-believe." Do you know the show Battlestar Galactica? Battlestar Galactica is based on the Mormon religion.
No way.
Yes, it is.
I've heard.
The Mormons are magical thinkers. That religion actually was started by a guy who was kind of into magic and did things like dig up. This was a very common thing back in the day. The country used to be covered everywhere. There was Indian burial mounds, and he was a grave robber because, of course, Native Americans would bury relics with the people who had passed, and you could get stuff by digging those things up. He was a magical thinker, and he really wanted to develop something fun. And that's what he did. It's a fun little religion with some very interesting traditions. And if you really want to have a good time, the last podcast on the left, which is my favorite podcast, I think they did like a 7-part series on it. So there's basically like 9 hours worth of a deep dive that they did on the Mormon religion, which is completely fascinating. If you want to learn more about the Mormon religion, you can always get the free book. It's a really confusing read. But basically, it's got something to do with a bunch of plays.
You are right. There are some themes to the Battlestar Galactica. I never made that connection because I'm not a complete moron. I like watching the show for the show. But wow, That is just.
So you're saying because I'm not a complete moron. Did you just say I'm a moron? Is that what you're saying?
Well, if you think you are, but I'm not saying
We
you
have a
are.
listener to the show, Micah in Arizona. Hey, Micah. Hope you're doing well. Micah's a Mormon. Really would like to have Micah on the podcast sometime to tell us about it. I'm not busting on him for his religion. I equally bust on all religions.
So
And, I do have one, maybe I've got one kind of bizarre religious principle in my head. Would anyone like to know what it is?
What is it?
I am convinced that God is not like us and that we were not made in his image.
also,
Really?
I
so?
actually believe, because the most enlightened, in my opinion, or the thing that brings me the most joy, other than like family, but the thing that I know that is always wonderful and is always there and loves me unconditionally, has always been my good friends, my dogs. And so I think, honestly, that the word is actually reversed and that the higher being actually is a dog.
Thus the movie Dogma. Wow.
That's not what
Once again,
dogma means. That's
oh.
not what dogma means, Ron.
It doesn't.
No, it has
Once
nothing
it-
to do with a dog. That is not what dogma means.
Once again, I did not make that connection.
You thought it was about a dog?
Well, I thought that's where you were going with that, but okay, probably
No,
not.
that is not. No, that is the leap that you took. That hit me with another one, Tromondae. What you got for me? Think you're gonna shock me? Go ahead, tell me. Give me another good one. What if they came home and said, "We want to do this religion"?
Would you be accepting, or would you redirect them to, or encourage them to seek other?
No, I'd let them do their thing. As long as nobody tries to convert me, I'm fine. That's always been my big thing. Don't push your religion on me.
Yeah.
But you can do whatever you want. I served my country for very specific reasons, and religious freedom is one of them. So I support everyone's desire to practice any quackpot religion that they want to, as long as it doesn't affect me in any way.
So since you say that, which is interesting, religion is supposed to be a choice of an individual person. Why is it that religion is so forced on us when we are supposed to have the freedom to choose?
That's a good question. I can't answer that question. Until I'm king and ruler of the world, or at least of the SlapTail Nation army, I do not know the answer to that question. Obviously, they do it to us when we're very little because we're impressionable, and they assume that we will fall in line and give all of our money to the church and not wear condoms if you're Catholic.
Well, a big shout out to Display Cosmic Power. If I think that's his name, I was on his Twitch feed, and he said, "Hey, I hear you do a podcast, so give a shout out to them." And I gave a shout out.
What the fuck are you talking about?
Well,
what are you talking about? What the fuck are you talking about?
I gave a shout out to them because they gave a shout out nationwide.
Who the fuck is that?
They're on Twitch.
What the fuck is Twitch?
Dude, once again, this is why things die. People don't keep up with the damn power, the damn things out there in life, right?
That did not answer my question.
Twitch is another streaming platform.
Okay.
So I figured
You figured you were going to interrupt our line of thought.
Yeah.
To say,
let me throw it out there.
Let me give a shout out to these guys over here.
Yeah.
We're giving a shout
Why
out.
not? I gave a shout out during Kevin Smith's podcast to us. I said if he could get, someone could get a hold of us, hopefully.
Yeah, I'm sure Kevin Smith's going to get a hold of us. I'm sure that's going to happen.
I can't check the email. I don't have the password.
You had it. I gave it to you. I don't know why you lost it or what you didn't do. You had full access to the email. I gave you access to everything.
I don't have access to it. I check my notes. But anyway,
So
I figured pretty much with Tromondae, right, and anything. Oh, go ahead.
since we're just bouncing around, I guess now we start talking about circumcision.
Sure. Go
Just
ahead.
the
Shoot.
tip. We're only going
Got-
to touch the tip
All
of
right.
this.
Yeah, you got 5 minutes. Circumcision. Go. Go ahead. Go. That's you, Tremonti. Go ahead. Circumcision. Go.
What do you want me to say about it?
I don't know. You brought it up.
You were the one who brought it up. What's the question?
Brown's brought up that person he just mentioned, and
Yeah, well, we're used to Ron's being a fucktard.
Oh yeah, I'm a fucktard, just like you. No,
I did not say I wasn't.
okay. Jesus. When did this become a schoolyard match of just yelling at each
Oh, go
other?
ahead. Go ahead. What was your question about circumcision, Tromondae? The
was
good,
just-
the bad, the ugly? What?
Oh, we can talk about the good, the bad, the ugly.
Circumcision. Have you ever watched a circumcision?
No.
Okay.
Have you?
Yes, I have. Of course.
Have you right? Have you given?
Oh, fuck no. I would not. I mean, I personally, when I watched one, thankfully, I never had to do that. When I did my rotation as a nurse practitioner, I did not spend any time on the obstetrics ward because that's not part of. There's an actual branch of nursing that does that. They're clinical nurse midwives. That is not part of my gig, so I did not do that. But you have to do a rotation in obstetrics and gynecology as a nurse.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, one of the procedures that I watched was a circumcision. And it's pretty horrible. Now, having said that, I don't think you should wait till you're older and make it part of a religious ceremony. But hey, if that's what you want to do, knock yourself out. And I definitely have a hard time with the people that I know who, as adults, had it done because, boy, were they miserable. So clearly the best time to do it, if you're going to do it, is when you're a baby because you forget it. I had it done. I don't remember having it done. So it was probably traumatic at the time, but I don't remember. And I'm pretty happy with how it looks. Can't go back and resheath it. Seems like it's fine.
I didn't know that people would do that at later stages in life for and attach religious reasons to it.
Well, now the Ronz was Jewish for a couple of years. And at what point does the bris occur commonly with Jewish folks, Ronz?
I don't know. I couldn't tell you that.
But you were Jewish. But you were Jewish for a couple of years.
Yeah, I was, but I couldn't tell you that.
Was your penis Jewish?
I have no idea about that.
You don't know what your penis looks like? You don't know?
No, I didn't say that. You just asked me.
You don't
if
know
I'm
if you're circumcised
Jewish.
or not. You don't know if you're circumcised or not.
Oh, I know. Just once again, you didn't ask that initially, but once again, I'm going to look like the tard here. But yeah,
Some people might find tard offensive.
not fuck tard, but tard.
Fuck tard is acceptable.
All right. So, given the fact that was I Jewish? Did I follow the Jewish doctrine? No, I didn't. I was a kid. I don't know what the hell I followed.
But you do know if you're circumcised or not.
Oh yeah, I was circumcised.
That's what I'm getting at. Do you do know?
So why don't you just come out and say, "Hey, are you circumcised?" I'm like, "Yes, I am."
Would that be any more interesting than me saying, "Is your penis Jewish?"
Yeah, I guess you could make a valid point like that. So, yeah, I guess my penis would be Jewish. What are you doing? What are you texting? You and Tromondae are texting.
I'm not texting. I was just looking up when a common time for a bris is, and it says bris traditionally takes place when the baby is 8 days old.
Mm.
But I do know that there are times when they do it later. And there's all kinds of rules, apparently. So that's really interesting.
I know Lorena Bobbitt did one.
No,
later
she
in life.
completely removed the penis. It wasn't a bris. She didn't she wasn't removing the foreskin. She removed the penis, lopped it right off. But he deserved it. I'm going to say that. And that's not controversial. That guy deserved it. All right. And I guess then the next question is, you brought it up, Tromondae. Are you circumcised?
I am.
Okay, now if you had a boy, would you get him circumcised?
Yes.
And why is that?
Because I don't want him to have that little turtleneck.
He's like, it's purely aesthetic. It's purely aesthetic. Okay.
Hey, that's not attractive.
Not attractive. It kind of looks like an anteater. But you know what? If you're in our listening audience, and you have a foreskin, you're pretty happy with it. Hey, knock yourself out. My advice to you, I'm going to put my medical hat on because Ron says I like to apparently brag about being in the medical field, which I'm not bragging. Please get me out of it so that I can do this for a living. If you have not been circumcised, please do yourself a favor. And every time you go to the bathroom, retract your foreskin, urinate, make sure everything's clean, and then put it back down. Because if you don't, You can get phimosis, you can get paraphimosis, strictures, all those bad things. They'll follow you around in life. And guess what? If that happens and you get a bad stricture, they're going to cut that baby anyway, just so you know. All right? A little bit of hygiene. Importance here from the Beaveman.
From the Beaveman.
Me to you. From you to your penis.
So,
Track.
to slightly distract from that, display cosmic power on Twitch.
What the fuck is going on with you?
No, you wanted to know. It's like I said to slightly to distract from that because he let us do a shout out on his broadcast, which gets I want to say 3,000 to 4,000 viewers. So I figured I could.
His podcast gets 3,000 to 4,000 viewers.
He's on Twitch, dude. Fucking follow Twitch streaming platform.
Follow Twitch.
All right, fine.
All right, thank you. Then go ahead and do your public service. Go ahead. Your service.
I did.
Did you? I feel like I was yelling through it. Go ahead, do it again.
And then, of course, I wanted shout out to Kevin Smith for his podcast last night, or his broadcast. I thought that was really great. Right? You and me remind me of him and his cohorts because they were just.
Name. Which one did you listen to?
Oh, I can't remember the guy's name.
What was
the one last night?
What was the podcast called?
It was Fat Man, and they were at the Scum and Villainy Cantina.
So you're talking about Fat Man on Batman.
I guess so. All I know is it was live.
You're talking about Fat Man Beyond.
I don't know. All I know was Kevin Smith, and I was.
So you're giving a shout out to Kevin Smith, his podcast. You know he has more than one.
Yeah, well, I'll just give a shout out to him in general.
Are you talking about the podcast that he does with Mark Bernardin?
I think that was the guy's name.
Villain's Canteen.
Okay.
Probably know the name of his co-host who does the majority of the work on the podcast.
Listen, it was my first time watching him.
Thank you, Mark Bernardin, for all the work that you do on that podcast that Kevin Smith does with you at the Scum and Villainies Cantina on Hollywood Boulevard.
Yep. I watched that last night. I thought it was pretty interesting.
You know how I know that, Ronz?
How do you know that?
Because I've been there when they did the podcast.
Yeah, it was Fat Man Beyond Live, actually. So I thought it was pretty cool.
Totally missed that Monday.
Is Tromondae still there?
I'm here.
Okay. But, the way they banter back and forth, yell at each other, I thought, man, that's just like the Beaveman and me. I mean, these guys are just...
Let me just say this, Kevin Smith and Mark Bernardin. You are nothing like the Ronz and I. The Ronz, yeah. He's his own thing, and you can't have him. You can't steal him. Good luck trying to find someone as cringy, controversial, completely out there as the Ronz. You can't find him.
I'm pretty sure there's someone... Listen, I've dealt with a lot of people that are far more worse than me or you or Tromondae, right? Far more worse.
I would definitely say that's true of me and Tromondae. I don't know that that's true about you.
Jeez. Well, Tromondae likes me. That's all that counts, right?
That's all that matters. As long as you've got his acceptance and his circumcised penis, that's all that matters.
What if this entire podcast was just for the Beavemen to educate men with circumcised penises to take care of themselves?
Oh, there you go.
Well, I feel like if there's listeners out there who want me to cover any specific topics in a comedic way instead of the typical boring medical podcast, please just ask. And you can send us emails at SlapTailSquad@gmail.com. SlapTailSquad@gmail.com, which I gave Ron's access to, but he apparently doesn't check it. You can also leave us a message at the SlapTailNation.com, which is our website that the Ronz is in charge of, and I'm sure he updates continuously.
Mm-hmm. Except
and of course, you can always leave us comments on SoundCloud or anywhere that you listen to podcasts. Correct? Is that not correct, Ronz?
Yeah.
And before I sign off today, Ronz always likes to hear how his stats are doing.
Definitely. I really.
Even though Tromondae has stomped him quite a few times on the short periods of time that Tromondae has done the podcast.
Tromondae's the better person then. And you know why? Because he doesn't force religion down people's throat.
Is that why? Is it because you force religion down people's throats? That's what you're saying?
No.
All right. Top city for this week is, Dublin, Ireland again.
Wow.
Dublin, Ireland. A lot of people in Ireland getting insulted by the Ronz on this week's episode.
Yeah, I
because
guess
he thinks that no one in Ireland is Catholic.
I didn't say that.
They're all Protestant. And what I was getting at was, what do you think the war was about? And he said potatoes, but that was a long time ago.
You're talking about the Protestant Catholic War.
Hey.
Yeah.
All right.
Anybody who's gone through Catholicism or Catholic school, like I did, knows that war.
All right. Next largest city in listening for the listening audience is a
Battle
little
Creek.
called Vicksburg.
Yay!
And number 3, I'm going to just say the top 3. Can you guess which city?
Mountain View.
Mountain View, California.
Way to go.
Way to go, Mountain View, California. All right. I'm going to wrap it up now because we were leaving on a high note talking about circumcision with Tromondae, and we know his views out there. Apparently, if you are not circumcised, Tromondae does not find your penis attractive.
Well, there we go.
So he's insulted a good percentage of the population. And now, welcome to the club because Ronz does that every week.
Welcome to the club.
Welcome to the club. All right. Any closing thoughts, Tromondae?
I don't mind circumcised or uncircumcised penis. I like
Tromondae is a non-judgmental penis lover. Very good. All right.
Jesus.
What about penises? Before I just a really quick thought though. What about penises that have vitiligo, Tromondae? How do you feel about those? I feel like it's a very common thing.
you and your questions today. Huh.
So vitiligo is the absence of melanocytes or melanin in the skin. So, you know, if you've got a tan and you've got a white patch there, that means you have an absence of melanocytes, and this is an autoimmune condition called vitiligo.
Yeah.
You'll see a lot of porn stars, a lot of pornos where you'll see some white patches on dark penises or different colored penises, and there's a white patch where there's an absence of color. Vitiligo of the penis. What is your thoughts on that, Tromondae?
So why are you
And
watching
go.
porno and penises?
You can't help but see the penis in a porno run, unless you're watching all-girl porn.
Okay, so why
Answer the
aren't
question. Vitiligo, because I don't like all-girl porn.
you? Okay.
That's not my thing. I like to see somebody getting railed, Ron. That's what I like to see.
So you watch a lot of gay porn?
That is not what I said. If
I
you're
didn't ask
watching,
what you
wait a
said.
minute,
I
if
said
you're watching-
I asked a question.
If you're watching all-girl porn, you're watching gay porn.
Yes, I am. I'll freely admit that. But I
Let
said
him
I do.
answer the goddamn question.
Tremonti's probably laughing.
Go ahead,
As
Tromondae.
always, I'm good with it.
He's good with vitiligo of the penis also. So Tromondae, lover of circumcised, uncircumcised, vitiligo penises, and Tromondae still loves pussy. There you go. Ronz, your opinion on your Jewish penis if it contracted vitiligo, if it has the autoimmune disorder.
I have
Nothing?
a white penis, so I wouldn't even notice. How the hell would I notice? I'm like, oh my gosh, it's white.
It's
Wait a
whiter.
minute. I am
It's
white.
whiter.
You know what I just love about this?
What's that?
The Ronz just looked down.
Yeah, I know. That makes you think he's not wearing any pants.
There we go.
This is why you're not on Twitch, Ron.
Well, it's only from the waist up that you can
This
see.
is why you're not allowed to be on your little Twitch platform.
I am not on Twitch.
All right, then I'm going to wrap this up. It's been a
So
good
what about you?
conversation.
Wait. What about you? What if you had vitiligo?
That's fine.
Okay.
That's fine. It would be much easier to notice on my penis, I guess, because I'm also brown. So,
Are you now?
yes.
I didn't know
All right.
that.
All right, well, I'm going to wrap it up. It's been a good conversation. I would like to thank Tromondae for supplying us with some gospel music. I'm going to have to hit him hard with some of my music and see
Yeah.
how he deals with that.
I look forward to listening to your music.
All right, excellent. So that we'll do with the next one. Once again, you want to go ahead and mention that group, Tromondae, in case anybody wants to listen to it. This
Yes.
is the super rich guy who doesn't pay his choir. Go ahead.
Good segue. So the choir is Ricky Dillard and New Generation Chorale, or you can refer to them as New G.
All right.
All right.
Okay, well, we got that, and I'm going to say adios, mooch fuckos. Till
All
next time.
right. And did you know I'm a martial artist? So, hey,
And he's also black.
Yes, exactly.
I'm a black belt.
Black.
I could go on for 5 more minutes defending myself, but then again, I'm not
Just say
good.
goodbye. Let's just say goodbye.
I tried to. You're dragging out. So, Tremondae, you got the last word.
Deuces.
What the fuck? Deuces. All right.